Okay, 8th graders, today we're going to talk about solving inequalities using addition or subtraction. Your essential question is, can you use addition or subtraction to solve an inequality? So, all we have to do, just like if we were to have an equal sign on here, we would find out what's bothering my variable. So in this case I have an x. Minus 6 is bothering my x. And I get rid of minus 6 by doing plus 6 on both sides of my inequality so it stays equal. So that crosses out. I end up with x is greater than or equal to negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. So when I graph it, I end up with a closed dot on the 4 and greater than on the second one, minus 2 is bothering my b, so I add 2. I have b is greater than negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7. I have no equal sign here, so I have an open dot, and greater is still to the right. And the last one, I add 3.8 to get rid of it on both sides, and that's 5.0. So I end up with m is less than or equal to 0 plus 8 is 0, 5 plus 3 is 8. I made my graph go up by tenths this time. I have an equal sign, so I have a closed dot, and it's less than is to the left. Left, left, left. It's a tongue twister, but it'll help you remember. Okay, on the next set, we're going to use subtraction. So I find out what's bothering my x, and it's 1.4 added to x. So to get rid of that 1.4, it has nothing to do, remember, with this plus sign, but it's a positive 1.4. So to get rid of it, I have to do minus 1.4 on both sides. So I end up with x here, if I bring it straight down, is great, this is a greater than sign, and negative 8 and negative 1.4, I have a negative and a negative being combined. That makes a bigger negative, 9.4. So when I graph it, I have negative 9.4, negative 9.3, negative 9.5. I have negative 9.4 is greater than x, or if I read it backwards, x is less than negative 9.4. So I have an open dot because there's no equal sign, and x is less than 9.4 and less is to the left. On the next one, k plus 5 is less than or equal to negative 3. So plus 5 is bothering my k, so I minus 5 to get rid of it. And I have k is less than or equal to negative 3 and negative 5 make negative 8. I have a closed dot because I have an equal sign, and k is less than's to the left. And my last one, z plus 2/3, so I minus 2/3 to get rid of it. Now to subtract fractions, I have to have a common denominator. So 5, 6 minus 2/3. My common denominator could be 6. And that'd be times 2, so that'd be times 2. So I end up with 5/6 minus 4/6 equals 1/6. So I have my z, I have my inequality, and I have 1/6. So when I graph this, I might have 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 0/6 would be 0. I have a closed dot because I have an equal sign. And 1/6 is less than or equal to z, or z is greater than or equal to 1/6. So z is greater than means I'm going to the right. Okay, on a train, carry-on bags can weigh no more than 50 pounds. Your bag weighs 24.8 pounds. Write and solve an inequality that represents the amount you can add to your bag. So, your bag, B, can weigh no more than 50 pounds. So it can be less than or equal to 50. Yours weighs 24.8, so if I have 24.8 plus how much can be less than or equal to 50, so that's my inequality written out. That's one answer, because it says write and solve. So this is one of my answers. You need to stop there and circle that answer. Now, I know I need to subtract off 24.8. So, if I do 50 minus 24.8, I have to borrow 10 minus 8 is 2, 9 minus 4 is 5, 4 minus 2 is 2. So I end up with 25.2. So my bag can be less than, I can fill it with 25.2 or less pounds. But if I go over, I'll have to pay extra baggage. So these are my two answers. Here's my write the inequality, here's my solve the inequality. Okay, turn your paper over. I have given you some problems to do. On 1, 2, 3, and 4, you need to show your work, which these two are simple. These two are a little more difficult. No calculators. You need to be adding and subtracting decimals and fractions. And then on number 5 and number 6, I want to do number 6 with you and see if you can get number 5. So the height is greater than the base, and we're trying to write and solve an inequality that represents the value of x. So the height, x plus 4, is greater than the base, which is 9. And then so that's one answer, and then you need to solve it because the directions here again say write and solve. On number 5, the perimeter is less than 15. So on that one, we would have x plus 5 plus x plus 5 is less than 15. So there's one version written out, and then you need to solve it. And the last one is a word problem, but you should be able to do it. Your goal is to sell at least 50 boxes of cookies for your school fundraiser. Write an inequality that represents your goal. And then if you sell 26 boxes, write and solve a new inequality to represent how many boxes you need to reach your new goal. Okay, make sure your homework is done for tomorrow. Have a great night.